Shalom, shalom, family. It's Brother Ananias. We got Brother Israel, got Brother Eric, and this is A.O.I, the Awakening of Israel. And once again, we appreciate you all tuning in tonight. All praise and glory to the Most High God for allowing us to make it throughout the week, to come together where we can all come together to get this edification through the scriptures, through the power of the Lord. So we want to give a special shout out to everyone online watching. Make sure that you take notes, like, comment, subscribe, share the content. Don't just watch it for your own sake, but share it to your other brothers and sisters in the nation of Israel. We're trying to help rebuild and restore our people by giving them the knowledge that we all need in order to push forward in this truth, enduring to the end for the Lord. So as usual, women, make sure that your head is covered. Men, make sure that your head is uncovered according to 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3 through 5. Because the Lord has an order to everything. So make sure that your head is covered, women, and men, make sure that your head is uncovered. Now, tonight's topic is a strange topic, but a topic that needs to be discussed because we all been deceived, And today we're going to be talking about the devil that the Bible speaks of. Because for some odd reason, we've all been brainwashed to the point where when you say devil or Satan, the first image that pops in your head is always a red devil with pointy horns, with a pitchfork with a long tail, poking folks in the fire. We thinking that's the devil that the Bible speaks of. But on the contrary, when you actually open the Bible and read it, it goes a lot deeper than that. Matter of fact, you won't even get that image nowhere in the Bible. But something similar to it, but not in that exact order. But we're going to get into that tonight. You know what I'm saying? Because one of the things that I always heard growing up, it was a saying the biggest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the people or the world that he never existed, even though he was standing right in front of their face. So what we're going to do is take a deep dive inside the Bible and find out who exactly is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Is he the red man with the pointy horns and the pitchfork? Let's find out. So before we get started, let's go to open your King James Bible. Matter of fact, that's the Bible that we use, King James, and go to Sirach or Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 15. Sirach chapter 5 and verse 15. Let's get it.
Sirach or Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small.
So a lot of people will hear that, and when we on the subject that we're talking about, what does the devil look like? Who is he? They'll say, oh, that's something small, that's something minor. But the Lord said, don't be ignorant, meaning don't be void of understanding or lack of knowledge when concerning Satan or the devil. Don't be ignorant of the fact as to who he is, what he looks like, what his job is, any of that. Don't be ignorant of the fact. That's what we're doing tonight, giving some understanding so you are no longer ignorant of the fact of a small thing or a large thing when it considers or comes down to who the devil is that the Bible speaks of. So from there, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 2 and chapter 4. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 4 through 5.
The book of Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 4. Hear ye the word of the Lord, O house of Jacob, and all the families of the house of Israel.
Read 5.
Thus saith the Lord.
Go ahead.
What iniquity have your fathers found in me, that they are gone far from me, and have walked after vanity and become vain?
So what is the Lord saying? Hear this word. Understand this word. Tonight, you're going to get some edification. You're going to get some more knowledge where you can be a light to somebody else, where you can help teach somebody else. Thus saith the Lord about who the devil is that the Bible speaks of. He said, but for my people, they have gone far from me and have walked after vanity. What is he saying by that? We done gone off as a people, the nation of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, whatever you deem yourself, Well, skip that. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian, you are God's chosen people. Because you don't know who you are, and because you've been chasing after vanity, you have become vain. You believe what the enemy tells you, and you run with it. The enemy paints a picture, you run with it. And that's embedded in each and every one of our minds when it comes down to dealing with the devil. The Bible is a book put together to help you deal with the devil. But what is the image that comes to your mind when you're thinking about that? Let's pull that up just to give everybody a clear understanding as to what we're talking about. When you type in images of the devil, these images are what pop up. These are the same images that we see where in our movies, in our TV shows, cartoons, comic books, art galleries, music videos, whatever you can think of. These are the images that you see. And this is why we had an image in our mind every time somebody mentions something about the devil. We think it's some red guy with horns with a pitchfork. Think about that. Vanity, vain. We have not proven that. Nobody has proved that to us. We just went by vanity, what somebody said, rather than making it make sense to us by reading through the scriptures. So that's what we're going to do tonight. So for now, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 1. And the main people that's actually pushing this image is the same one that ain't teaching you about it. Go ahead. Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 1.
Jeremiah 23 and verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord.
What do you say? Woe unto the pastors that scatter the sheep. Who are the sheep? The lost sheep of the house of Israel, who Christ came for. You know what I'm saying? Hey, brother, ain't nothing but your beard in the screen, man. But he said, woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people, ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, saith the Lord. Who do we get our understanding of the scriptures from? The pastors, the deacons, the reverends. We go to whose schools to get understanding through theology? We don't own any of these schools, but who do we have to report to? Matter of fact, let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and bear with me. Let me get Deuteronomy 28 and 47.
Book of Deuteronomy.
Hold on. Yeah, and one of all things.
48 should be 48.
Yeah. Let me get that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
What are we reading right here? We're reading one of the curses out of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, that was put on the children of the Most High, or the nation of Israel, the Israelites. This is one of the curses that was put on our people for being disobedient to the Most High God. And he said that we would have to serve our enemy in want of all things, which is going into religion. If we wanted to have a religion or understanding of the Most High God, we would have to do what? Go to our enemy. So back to what we're talking about, who is the devil the Bible speaks of? Who owns these schools? Who teaches throughout these schools telling us who the devil is, or who God is, what Christ is? Where do we get our understanding from? Our enemies. God said we will serve our enemies in want of all things. It ain't just going to them to eat, for work, for housing, in want of all things. Meaning what? Your driver's license, your house, your mortgage, your finances, but also for your own spiritual being, for your religion, so-called religion. But This Bible is not our religion. It's our way of being. It's our heritage for the Israelites. But back to what we was talking about, the pastors, they lead the sheep astray by giving us false information, not correcting it. They read the Bible or supposedly read the Bible day in and day out and supposed to give an understanding to our people. But for some odd reason, we all think that Christ is white, God is white, the angels are white, and that the devil is red. Woe to the pastors, the Lord said. Woe, meaning destruction to them for misleading the people, not giving them a true understanding or a true breakdown as to what's going on. Woe to them. So what we're going to do tonight is give a clear understanding as to who the devil is. First of all, you got to understand that Satan does not do anything contrary to the Lord. A lot of people have that conception that the Lord or Satan and the Most High God are at war with each other. That's nothing but madness and folly right there. The Lord God is in control of everything. He controls all things. Matter of fact, Satan is his employee. You don't believe me? Let's go to Job chapter 1, verse 6. The book of Job chapter 1, verse 6. And we're going to show you that Job, or not Job, but Satan or the devil is an employee. And just like at your job as an employee, you have a job and a role, a purpose. He has a purpose, just like you do at your job. Whether it's sitting in front of the computer, whether it's cooking, flipping fries, building something, whatever the case may be, you got a purpose, you have a job, and you got a boss, unless you running that company. But let's get Job chapter 1, verse 6, and you're going to read that to 12.
Job chapter 1 and verse 6. Now there was a day when the Son of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them.
Stop. Now, a lot of people will get that conception and say Satan or the devil was kicked out of heaven, where he no longer is allowed in heaven. This right here just blew that myth out the water. It said the sons of God and Satan came amongst the Lord. So what is that telling you? That right there is blowing that myth out the water. Satan goes before the Lord. He works for him. He goes to the boss man to get his understanding as to what he's supposed to do next. What's his next task? But go ahead.
Verse 7. And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. Verse 8. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God and
escheweth
evil.
Stop right there. It said, and the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job? So he asking him a question. These two people or these two entities or these two people sitting here having a dialogue. So if one wasn't allowed in heaven, how could they have a dialogue? It said, have you considered my servant Job? There is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man. So it was more than one perfect man in the Bible. We need to understand that as well. An upright man that fear of God and eschews evil. So the Lord is actually asking Satan what? Hey, you consider this perfect man, my servant Job? He don't do no wrong. This man hate evil. He hates sin, breaking my commandments. Have you considered him? Have you tempted him? Let's keep reading.
Verse 9. Then Satan answered the Lord and said, Doth Job fear God for not? Verse 10. Hast not thou made an hedge about him and about his house and about all that he have on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance increased in the land.
So
Verse
he's
11.
saying right here, Job only that way because you taking care of him. You done made a hedge around him, taking care of his house and everything that he have on every side. You done blessed his works, and the substance has increased in the land. So why wouldn't he fear you? Why wouldn't he serve you wholeheartedly? What else he say though? Verse 11.
Verse 11. But put forth thine hand now and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. Verse 12. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that have is in thy power, only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord.
So once again, these brothers, or not these brothers, but they were having a conversation. The Most High God and Satan, a creation of the Most High, mind you, an employee of the Most High God. They having a dialogue. He asking him, hey, have you tempted Job? That's a perfect man. He do what I tell him to do. Have you tried him? Satan telling the Lord, he only like that because you taking care of him. Well, the Lord said, put your hand on everything that he got except him. And we going to see if he going to curse me or not. So what did he do? He gave him an opportunity to do something. He gave him a job. He had to get the approval and the stamp from the Most High God in order to do so. Ain't nobody out there doing anything on their own will. The Lord approves all things. So what did we just learn right there? One of the things about the devil the Bible speaks of is that he's an employee. He worked for the Lord. He ain't out doing what the hell he want to do. He out working for the Lord. From there, let's go to 1 Chronicles chapter 21, verse 1. We're going to learn something else about the devil the Bible speaks of. 1 Chronicles chapter 21, verse 1. Let's get that.
1 Chronicles chapter 21 and verse 1. And Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. And David said to Joab and to the rulers of the people, Go number Israel from Beersheba even to Dan, and bring the number of them to me, that I may know it. And Joab answered, The Lord make his people 100 times so many more as they be. But my lord the king, are not they all? Are not they all my Lord's servants? Why then doth my Lord require this thing? Why will he be a cause of trespass to Israel? Nevertheless, the king's word prevailed against Joab. Wherefore Joab departed and went through all Israel and came into Jerusalem. Verse 5. And Joab gave the sum of the number of the people unto David, and all they of Israel were 1,000, 100,000 men that drew sword, and Judah was 400, 10,000 men that drew sword. But Levi and Benjamin counted he not among them, for the king's word was abominable to Joab.
Read 7, and that's where we're going to stop.
Verse 7. And God was displeased with this thing, therefore he smote Israel.
So what we learn right there is that the spirit of Satan or the devil is a spirit as well. It said in the beginning, 1 Chronicles 21 and 1, and Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. So he jumped on King David and made him want to go count to see how many people was in the nation of Israel. When it said, let me see where it said. Basically, what he was doing, he was counting the people, and the Lord said that we are the sand of the sea, can't be counted. And that displeased the Lord because King David was trying to number us due to the spirit of Satan jumping on him. So we got to understand that he's an employee first. He's a creation, an employee, and a spirit. So when you get that image in your mind thinking about a red guy with a pitchfork, throw that out immediately. You know what I'm saying? He a spirit. designed to do certain things, to do what? Lie, steal, and kill. And tempt you into killing yourself, to breaking God's commandments. Attempting to do all these things. Let's go to Matthew 4:1. And we're going to read the account of when he tried to tempt Christ. Matthew chapter 4, verse 1. And we're going to read through 11.
Matthew chapter 4 and verse 1. Then was Jesus led up in the spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil.
Tempted of the devil. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterwards and hungry. Verse
So
3.
40 nights, 40 days, he was hungry, starving. He had a weak point in his life. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread.
So he tempted him. It said another name for the devil or Satan is when the tempter came to him. So another name for the devil is the tempter. Keep going. Verse 4.
Verse 4. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God.
Keep going.
Verse 5. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city and sitteth him on a pinnacle of the temple. Verse 6. And said unto him, if thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Verse 7. Jesus said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 8. Again, the devil taketh him up and to an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. Verse 9. And said unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Verse 10. Then said Jesus unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Verse 11. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. Verse 12.
All right, that's it. So let's go back through there and break it down some more. So this is after Christ went and got baptized by John in the wilderness. Immediately he went into the wilderness being led by the Spirit and being tempted by the devil. And the devil ain't do nothing but tempt him. They called him the tempter. He kept trying to tempt him into doing all these different things, but Christ kept hitting him with the scriptures, busting it down, breaking it down. For what reason? Because he was learned in the scriptures, able to discern. That's how most of us as Israelites got to be. That's why we got to study to show ourselves approved. We got to constantly endure and build ourselves up and read so that we have a good understanding as to what's going on and as to who the tempter is, as to who Satan is, as to who the devil is. Throughout life, we're going to have to understand and know what his tricks are, what he's up to. We got to know everything about him. Basically, what's the worldly term? Know thy enemy. You got to know who you're dealing with. You know, so what are we breaking down right now? That Satan is a spirit and an employee. But he kept tempting the Lord, just like they do in this world that we live in. Just like it was back then is the same way it is now. There's nothing new under the sun. What I mean by that, all right, just say you are a good singer or a good basketball player. But in order for you to make it to that grand stage or that heightened point in your life, you're going to have to bow down and worship. In order to reach that status, because the world is given to the hand of the wicked. So in order to reach that level in life, you're going to have to do some things that you ain't accustomed to doing. Let me see. Some of them would be breaking the Sabbath. being Israelites, we know we ain't supposed to be doing no type of work on the Sabbath. But in order to make it to the NFL, the NBA, whatever type of league you trying to be in, they're going to have you breaking the Sabbath in order to make it to that level. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have to go against God in order to do what? Reach that pinnacle. Just like he was telling Christ, everything that you see before you, I'll give it to you. All you got to do is bow down and worship me. Now, to worship something don't necessarily mean you got to hit your knees and be bound down to it. We got to understand that as well. Because one of the things that we do as a people a lot, worshiping something, is just giving it our time. We like to give our time to the sports, to movies, to celebrities, to the news. You know what I'm saying? We worship that thing. Instead of putting time into worshiping and learning about the Most High God, we learning and worshiping and spending time on things that have no benefit to us. So one of those conditions to being tempted by the devil is knowing that he's going to tempt you, saying, I'll give you all the riches in the world. I'll give you all the fame. Everybody in the world going to know who you are. You'll be a superstar. And we'll take that and run with, yeah, I want to be known. I want everybody. I want my name to be a household name. So we'll go against breaking God's laws to do that. We'll go break the Sabbath in order to be on the big screen, to be a multi-millionaire. We'll speak bad or speak down on our people or embrace wicked customs just to get their money and fame. That's what the tempter does. Lie, steal, and destroy. But from there, let's go to Luke 22:1. I'm going to show you another account where Satan or the spirit of Satan or the devil jumped on somebody else. Because that's what it does as a spirit. You ever heard that term? You got to be careful with who you're dealing with. Spirits be jumping off of folks. And as we read, you're going to see that Satan or the spirit or the devil be hopping on different individuals. It don't matter if you righteous or wicked. He going to jump on you. But as it said in there, he left Christ leave him for a season. Let me find that again right quick. It said, then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. So he left him at one point in time, but we're going to find another account where Satan came to him again. So we need to understand that Satan is an employee and he's a spirit that comes back and forth in different seasons. And that's why the Lord told us we got to endure to the end, because Satan going to continue to come bother us, tempt us throughout our life. So for now, let's go to Luke 22:1, and we're going to read through 4.
The book of Luke, chapter 22, and verse 1. Now the feast of unleavened bread drew nigh, which is called the Passover, and the chief priests and the scribes sought how they might kill him, for they feared the people. Then entered Satan into Judas, surnamed Iscariot, being of the number of 12, and he went his way and communed with the chief priests and captains, how he may betray him unto them.
You see that? So once again, this is during the Feast of Unleavened Bread, or it was about to be that point. Running up on the high holy day, excuse me. And the chief priests and the scribes saw how they might kill Christ, but they feared the people. Then entered Satan, the spirit of Satan again, into Judas. Surname, it's scary, being one of the number of the 12. So the spirit of Satan jumped on Judas, just like it jumped on King David. Think about that. He'll hop on you in a hot second, had you doing something wicked. You on a righteous path, every day you studying, you get that 1 week moment. You ain't been out on the corner teaching, or you ain't been watching no videos, you ain't been reading no scripts. All of a sudden a thought pop in your head. Now you looking at the female walking down the street. You thinking with a wicked mind. You know, somebody piss you off, you ready to fight or grab a pistol, waiting for that one particular weak moment to grab you and tempt you. But you got to be learned in the scriptures, just like Christ was, to be able to throw the script at it and the devil will flee. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to continue to come at you. The spirit going to continue to come at you and hop on you from time to time. Have you saying something out the way? You know, whether it be to your kids, to your wife, to your husband. Have you saying something out the way? Or have your spirit ready to fight, angry, depressed. That's another thing that the devil do. He what is it? Lie, steal, and destroy. He lied to the point where he'll make something that's in the scriptures as the fury of the Lord. You know what? Perfect example would be tornadoes and hurricanes. Now, when you read the scriptures, it say that the fury of the Lord is in the whirlwind. So that's the Lord being angry. But in the world, the devil or the spirit of the devil normalize it for you. They'll put a topic or a category on it, call it a hurricane or a tornado, and say, that's an F2, that's an F4. Nah, that's the fury of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Rather than say it has anything to do with the Most High God, they want to normalize it and say it's a tornado or F4. They want to put a title on everything to make it normal so that you have no fear toward the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Think about that witchcraft right there, the foolishness. They'll do that with any and everything. Come up with a title when it's actually the spirits or those demons doing what the Lord told them to do. I'm depressed. Or I'm angry as hell. I want to drink all the time. I want to put my hands on my wife. Or I want to go out and cheat and do this and that. They want to give you generalized topics or names or titles for these spirits and demons. But they all work for the Lord. But we getting a little bit off topic. Let me steer it back on. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14 to 15. So we learning about the devil the Bible speaks of. So far we done learned he is an employee. We done learned that he is a spirit. Now we about to learn something else about him.
Where we going? 2 Corinthians
chapter 11, verse 14 and 15.
2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 14. For the Levites left their suburbs and their possessions and came to Judah and
14
Jerusalem.
and 15?
What was it?
2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14 and 15.
2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works.
So what is it saying right there? Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So what is that saying? He's a shapeshifter, changing to what is necessary in order to get you to do what's wrong. Get you to break God's commandments so he can kill you. Think about that. And he's able to, I'll read it again. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. What is that angel of light? Letting you believe and think that he got the answers. Like the same person that enslaved you is the same person that can teach you salvation. You know what I'm saying? We'll get into that later, though. It said, therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as ministers of righteousness. Just because you shave your beard off and put a suit on, that don't make you righteous. Because you make it a clean cut look and you on the TV and you got all these special effects and all this heavenly sounding music. So you say, that don't mean that you a minister of righteousness, but that's what they do. The same folks that used to wear the hoods, when they take them hoods off, they clean shaven. They sitting in the office, in the White House. They sitting in your senators and your governor seats. They in control of everything. They sitting in front of the churches. They teaching those churches where our pastors, our elders go to learn about the Bible, and they teach them how to teach it. Meanwhile, them the same folks that put the image of the devil out there as being a red creature with red horns and a long tail and a pitchfork. A shapeshifter. So in our mind, we thinking it's a red devil, a red guy with the pointy horns and tail and the pitchfork. But he didn't change himself into these big time pastors and preachers as an angel of light, as if they giving you the goodness, the prosperity preaching and teachings. Transform. And then it said his angels, meaning his followers, the ones who do exactly as he tell them to, they looking like angels of light as well. So you got your Creflos, your T.D. Jakes, you got your Joel Osteens, the guy from the 700 Club, what's the dude name? P.D. Pablo, George Popoff, whatever his name is. These guys, they on the TV, you looking at them like they got the answers to life because they on the TV. Meanwhile, they misleading the sheep to the slaughter. What the Lord said in the beginning of this class, woe unto them wicked pastors for misleading the sheep. You know what I'm saying? I know it's kind of a difficult topic to be talking about, but it needs to be addressed. The devil can transform himself into anything at any given time to make you as an Israelite to go off. He ain't dealing with the other folks like that. His whole job is to disrupt us. We the one that's giving the law, statutes, and commandments, the Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. Think about that. But he's a shapeshifter, an employee, a spirit. Matter of fact, let's go get another account of that. 1 Kings chapter 22 and 20. 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 20. You're going to get another account of how these spirits need the approval of the Most High. But nonetheless, they out here creating deceit. They lying, they stealing, they killing. All to accomplish the will of the Lord. That's what we're trying to get an understanding for. 1 Kings chapter 22 and 20.
1 Kings chapter 22 and verse 20. And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this mountain, and another said on that mountain.
Keep going.
Verse 21. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. Verse 22. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him, and prevail also. Go forth and do so.
You see that? So ain't no spirits out there just doing what the hell they want to do. The Lord asked him, hey, which one of y'all gonna go out here and do my will? And how you gonna do it? Then you got all these different spirits jumping up. I want to do it this way. I want to do it. Let me, pick me, boss. Pick me. Then the Lord said, well, all right, how you gonna do it? He said, I'm gonna go forth and I'll be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail. Go and do it. You see that? Once again, letting you know that the Lord is in control of all things. And when he wants something done, he ain't got to get off the throne. Like my brother Israel be bringing out all the time. The Lord ain't got to get off the throne. He come up with a task that need to be done. And who want? They bidding for it. Over here, $50, $60, 50. I got it. Let me, boss. But in the end, they doing the Lord's will. He said, who gonna go down there and tempt him? Who shall persuade him? So once again, he got the spirits, those spirits, or Satan, those are evil spirits. They on the left-hand side because they going down there to be evil, wicked, rather than be righteous. So they on the left-hand side, going down there to be a lying spirit, working for the Most High. Another account of Satan doing his work. So from there, let's go to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. We all over the book, all over the Bible, because that's commanded of us. Here a little, there a little. Isaiah 28. But let's get that in Ephesians 6 and verse 12. This is why it's important for you to understand and know who your enemies are. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Spiritual wickedness in high places. Like I said before, you see those images of Satan. You see those images of Satan, what, in your movies, your cartoons, your comic books, your drawings, your commercials. Who control those things? Do we as a people control any media outlets? No. Do we control the radio stations? No. Think about these things. We battling against flesh, not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. High places, the ones that's sitting on top, the CEOs, the ones who making everything move, the puppet master, the ones who controlling Hollywood, the ones who are enabling the LGBTQ to do what they do, to be on. We battling against the spirits, the spirit world, because everything is spiritual, and that is what Satan does. He is in control because the Bible tells you that the world is given into the hand of the wicked. So let's go there. What is that? Job 9 and 24? Yeah. Job 9 and 24, right quick. The Bible will tell you that. I ain't making it up. The Bible will tell you that. Job 9 and 24.
Job chapter 9 and verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
So the Lord just told us what? The earth is given into the hand. He said the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? He letting you know right here that the wicked is a man. The wicked is a man. Satan is a man as well. Remember I said, or we brought out earlier, that he's a shapeshifter. That's where they get these characters from when you watching X-Men. Shapeshifter, guy to get mad, get angry, they get it all from the Bible. Hope, that's Samson. They get it all from the Bible. It said the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Is this world not given into the hand of a wicked man? Who is that wicked man? All the other nations, all the heathen, everybody that's not part of the nation of Israel, they are the wicked. But it's a top man at the top, though. He the one controlling it all. So-called white man, Esau. And right under him is Moab. They the ones in rulership. They the ones creating all this wickedness on this planet. You know what I'm saying? The Lord tell you that right there in Job 9 and 24, the earth is giving it to the hand of the wickedness. To the hand of the wicked, I mean. So we starting to piece it together slowly but surely. Letting you know who the devil is the Bible speaks of. So we learned that he's an employee, a spirit, a shapeshifter. He's a man. Let's go to John 1 and 8. 1 John 1 and 8. Let's see what else what other clue the Lord left us to break it down about who the devil is the Bible speaks of.
Chapter 1 and verse 8. If we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us.
So if we are running around saying we don't commit no sin, we got it all good, we deceiving ourselves. We got to understand that. That's what the devil will teach you. That's why he tell you, hey, everything's good. We live under grace. That's one of them angels of light. We have no sin. Christ died for our sins. We don't sin no more. We don't have to keep the law no more. He's gonna lie to you. If we say we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and the truth is not in us. The truth is keeping God's commandment. The truth is that God is only for the Israelites.
That's
The
right.
truth is you got to endure to the end as an Israelite. You got to understand who you are and fulfill that role. That's the truth. But if you say we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, the truth is not in you. And who told you that? Who got you thinking that, the law is done away with? I don't have to keep the law. I live under grace now. Christ nailed that to the cross. Those angels of light, the deceiver, the tempter, the devil. He is a liar. Think about that. Let's go to John 8 and 41. The book of John, chapter 8, verse 41. Let's see what other context clues the Lord left for us to find out who the deceiver is. Book of John, chapter 8, verse 41.
John chapter 8 and verse 41. Ye do deeds of your father. Then said they to him, we be not born of fornication. We have one Father, even God.
Read that one more time.
Ye do the deeds of your father. Then said they to him, we be not born of fornication. We have one Father, even God.
So this is Christ speaking, saying, you do the deeds of your father. Then they said to him, we are not born of fornication. We had one Father, even God. Is that what I really wanted? But basically, I don't think that's the script I wanted. But it was saying, if you ain't keeping the commandments, you're doing the works of the devil. That's your father. You know? Let's go to John 10 and 10. I think that's the one I wanted. John 10 and 10.
All right.
And read through 12.
John chapter 10 and verse 10. The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. Verse 11. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. Verse 12. But he that, but he that is hireling and not the shepherd whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming and leaveth the sheep and fleeth, and the wolf catcheth them and scattereth the sheep.
So the Lord telling you that that Satan, like we all know, we done heard this saying before, the thief cometh not but to steal and to kill and destroy. That's one of the main topics that you hear when you comparing or talking about Satan or the devil. So Christ is letting you know he's the good shepherd. He's going to lead you the right way. That angel of light that we were talking about earlier going to lead you the wrong way. You say, but he is a hireling, meaning somebody paid to do a job, to lead you astray. And when he see the wolf coming, he going to get the hell out of the way. So from now, let's get one more scripture. Well, not one more. Let's go to Isaiah 14 and 12. Y'all bear with me. Bear with me. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12 through 17.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 12 and verse 14. Isaiah what? 14 and 12? or 12
Yeah,
or 14.
14, chapter 14, verse 12.
Right. The
Hey,
book of
excuse me
Isaiah.
before you start that hint. It might just be I can barely hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
It's low, low.
Low.
I got you. I can hear you pretty good.
Okay.
It might be my phone. Go ahead.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nation? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, and I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the cloud. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake the kingdom, that made the worlds, that made the world as the wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prison?
You see that? He said, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of morning? How thou cut down the ground? Thou didst weaken the nations. How did he weaken the nations? He going to war with every country, with every nation. He come in and snatch up all the resources. What they call it today, colonization. That's what they teach in the history book. Like I said earlier, they want to give you rich or flashy terms to cover up what they actually doing. They weakening the nations, weakening the world. It said, and his mindset is, for thou said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. That's why they trying to get into space. Billionaires quitting Amazon, Virgin Mobile. They trying to build space programs, trying to take off and get up there where the stars at. They trying to exalt themselves. Say we can do it all. We can do anything. It said, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. That's why they wanted to learn how to fly. It wasn't to make something easy. I wanted to get to one side of the world to the other just to make it easy. Nah, they wanted to get above the clouds and say they want to be like the Most High God. Think about that. Who is doing that? We don't do that. The Israelites, we ain't doing that. We ain't thinking like that. Never have. Think about that. Verse 15, it said, yet thou should be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. He said, even though the Lord saying, even though you thinking like that, you thinking you better than me, you thinking you up there, where you got the remedy, the answer to everything, you got an answer to every problem, you're going to be brought down low. You on top right now only because he set them on top. And it said in there, he is a man. Let me find it right quick. The brother he emphasized it when he was reading it. It said verse 16, Isaiah 14 and 16, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble? Who is this man? The Edomites, Idumean, Esau, the so-called white man, dropping nuclear bombs, dropping their missiles everywhere. Is this the man that made the earth tremble and shake the kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities, that opened not the house of his prisoners? He ain't opening the doors to let the Israelites out. We still filling the prisons. They ain't opening no doors. They shaking the world though. They building and working on nuclear bombs on a constant. To do what? Destroy these lands, destroy these cities. That's why you got to pay attention. Don't just look at the movies as, yeah, that was a good movie. Yeah, did you see how that nuclear bomb destroyed it? Nah, they plotting and planning these things. It's not only a spirit, but it's a man. The devil the Bible speaks of. It's a man. I mean, what other man you know that decides that they want to create something like that? I want to create a bomb that destroys everything within 100 miles radius. You got to be wicked as hell to even think of it. And then on top of it, when you create it, you want to say, let me create a bunker in the ground that can withstand the blast. And then if you create the bunker, now you want to find a missile that can destroy the bunker. Because their mind is always going forward. Their thoughts is deep and wicked as hell. They search out all iniquity. But the Bible is letting you know what? That the devil the Bible speaks of is a man. You got to keep that in mind. So from there, let's go to 1 Peter chapter 5 and 8. 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. And if you got any precept, brothers, bring it up.
The book of 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour.
Seeking who he may devour. So it's telling you, you got to be sober-minded. You can't be smoking the tweeds. You can't be knocking back shots on a constant. You got to have your mind sober. You can't be popping pills like M&M's. You know what I'm saying? You got to be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Excuse me. You got to be discerned. You got to understand what's going on. That's why we talking about this subject. You got to understand who the devil is the Bible speaks of. You got to understand he walking around or waiting behind the billboard, waiting for you to speed past so he can devour you. You know what I'm saying? Hiding in plain sight. You thinking that's your neighborhood friendly white man, whatever the case, or that's the officer that's supposed to protect and serve. But he lurking like a lion. What it say? Walketh about seeking whom he may devour. What he gonna eat? Think about that. That's why when you at your jobs, that's why your supervisors or your bosses are always walking around with their arms folded, looking on who they can devour. Who can I get to do my work? They damn sure ain't coming to try to build you up. They damn sure ain't try to give you no extra money. They walking around making sure you work. Think about that. They ain't trying to give you no type of benefit. They walk around like they lying. Think about that. But from there, let's go to Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. The Lord give you all type of context clues about who the devil is. He said it, not me. Let's get that. Malachi 1 and 4.
The book of Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever.
Edom. That's so-called white men. This is the Lord saying that they were impoverished, but they returned to build in desolate places. That's the Renaissance era. Thus said the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. But we don't look at them like that. As much wickedness as they have done in this world, as they continue to do to our people, we look at them as friendly, angels of light. We don't look at it as if they can do no wrong, because we trying to inspire to live their lifestyle. We trying to inspire to live like them, not knowing what the hell going on. Why? Because these pastors and preachers deceive us. What we see on TV deceive us. What we hear in the music deceives us. But the Lord said they the border of wickedness, the people against whom the Lord have indignation, which is hatred, forever. Eat them. They are the devil the Bible speaks of. So where do you get that image? The red devil with the pointy horns and the pitchfork. Where do you get that from? Well, we gonna show you where the red man come into play at. They know who they are. We don't. We ain't the ones that's running the movie industry, the music industry. So when they painting the picture and they putting that image out there, they letting you know we know who we are. You figure it out. Let's go to Genesis 25. Let's bring out the story of Esau. Let's see where the red come in the Bible at. Where does the red man come into the Bible at? Genesis 25 and 21.
Genesis chapter 25 and 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived. Verse 22. And the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord, and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. Verse 25. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
You see that?
Verse 26.
The first child that came out, he was red all over. What do we say pops in mind, pops in your head when you say the devil or Satan, an image of a red man? The Bible say she had twins in her womb. The first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Esau, Edom, Idumea. What did we just read in Malachi 1:4? That they are the border of wickedness, that the Lord have indignation with forever. He hate them. He'll tell you that in Romans 9 that he hate them. That's in the New Testament. So we learning who is the devil the Bible speaks of. It's so-called white man. He the one in rulership. The Lord said the world is given, or the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. We letting you know that what he is a spirit and a man, a thief, stealing your identity. He's saying we are the Jews, stealing your identity, Israelite man, woman, and child. Even though the Bible don't line up with nothing they say, but them being presented to you as an angel of light, they have convinced you that they are chosen. They are God's people. But when you actually read the Bible said through the curses, these would be God's chosen people. And they would, let's go to Deuteronomy 28:68. Deuteronomy chapter 28:68. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
So the Lord said to his people, because they were disobedient, didn't want to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, he was going to put them on ships and send them back into slavery. And they were going to be sold. And once they got on them ships, they weren't going to see their homeland no more. But the angels of light in this world, this wicked world that we live in, they have it portrayed to everybody across the world that they are God's chosen people and they living in the land of Israel. But God just said, for us breaking the commandments, we would not see our homeland again. So if they the chosen people, what are they doing in their land? Think about that. This world is given into the hand of the wicked. And I want to play this little short video clip just to show you how wicked these people are, but they transform themselves to be angels of light. Where is it?
For God giveth to a man that is good in his sight wisdom.
Now, check it out. This is during the movie Roots. She reading. Check out what happened afterward.
Is that you reading, Kizzy?
Uncle William, it was only a trick. Kizzy and I are making up this joke to play on Nan and Dale. We're gonna make it think Kizzy knows how to read. Her eye will just pop out of her head.
I forbid it.
Well, whatever you say, Uncle William, but it was only a trick.
I'm not blaming you, darling. Miss Anne has been gone for a good while and doesn't understand the importance of such things. I'm surprised at you, Kizzy. You really want to play a cruel joke like that? On a fine woman like your own mama, Mammy Belle? You get dressed as soon as you can, darling. I've got a special present for you. You finish unpacking Miss Anne's things. And no more tricks.
Yes, Massa.
Mammy Belle is as true and loyal a woman as the Almighty ever let draw a breath. You come along as soon as you can. Belle?
So notice that at one particular time, they did not allow us to read. And it was for good reason. When you read, you are blessed. They knew that. They read that. Well, these are the same people that are transformed as angels of light. They wouldn't allow us to read. But these days, these are the same people that try to teach us the Bible. So if they wouldn't allow us to read them for one particular reason, why do they want us to read and teach it to us now? Because they're going to misguide us, give us misconception, misscrew everything. That's their purpose, though. We need to understand that about our enemy.
Toby, this plantation here is home. It's home for all of us. All being part of the same family almost. Negro as well as white. Members of a family have responsibilities. They have to keep the rules. Otherwise it would be impossible for us to live together in peace. You understand that? Yes, sir. If any of you break the rules, my rules, I have no choice but to remove the offender for the good of all the rest of us. Yes, I could forgive the transgressor, but it would be like leaving a rotten piece of fruit in a barrel to spoil everything around it. It's not fair.
He just dropped a heavy jewel right there. He said, I could lead a transgressor, but that's like leaving a rotten apple in a batch that's going to spoil the batch.
Come. I'll show you this. This is a traveling pass. Noah confessed he was forged for it by Kizzy. It's a copy of one Miss Anne gave her. All right. Noah's been sold off. What's left of him? And Kizzy?
Oh, God, no. No, Massa, you can't sell Kizzy too. No, Massa, not my baby, not my child. Oh, Massa, no, not my child, not my baby. Massa, Massa Peter, do anything you want to her. Anything, Massa. Tear the skin off her with this hide. She an awful nigga to do such a thing, Massa.
She said, tear the skin off her. Do whatever you will.
Please, Massa, in the name of Jesus, have mercy. Me and Toby, we give you our lives, Massa. Massa. 40 years, Massa. 40 years I served you. Don't that God
Tell you were doing your job. She disobeyed the rules. She has to suffer the consequences. That's all there is to it.
Massa, please. Please, Massa. Massa, I beg you, please. Don't sell her. Please, Massa.
She's already been sold. Oh, then, Massa, please sell me and Belle with her. But don't split up the family, Massa. You ain't never been that kind of man. Please, Massa. Mr. Tom Moore owns Kizzy now. Mr. Odell will take away that.
He didn't even give a damn. As much as they begged him, he enjoyed it. Those are the same folks that sit up at the top in the pool pit, standing over the podium, preaching to the congregation. Same people that we flock in and day out, week in and week out, thinking that they know the way. They got the answers. Being an Israelite, you need to come back to your heritage. Realize what's going on in this world. Realize because you out of order, the world is out of order. Because you out of order, the so-called white man, the devil the Bible speaks of, is sitting in control of everything. The world is giving it to his hand. And everything he say goes. That's why everybody run around confused about who they are, accepting evil for good and saying good is evil. Because we out of order. But we got to come back to who we are. Because this is only done to the children of Israel. But how do we know that this is happening, or why does that happen in that movie scene? Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 32. Matter of fact, start at 15, 28 and 15, and then jump to 32. Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Why was that scene even in that movie? This is why. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt now hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So for not keeping God's commandment, we as a people are cursed. The devil succeeded. Satan succeeded in fulfilling the Lord's will. But let's go to verse 32, 28 and 32. This is why you seen that scene in that movie, in that clip. Go ahead.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand.
Thy sons and daughters. Now, you seen the father in that video. He could have easily took Esau out. Both of them could have jumped on that man and it been done with. But it said, be no might in thy hand. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. That man didn't even flinch. It wasn't hard for him to tell them that. He was ready to see the the distress on their face. He loved to see that. But we trust in them. Son of the damn devil. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to Matthew 13 and 38. These things happen because we break God's commandments. And the reason we breaking God's commandments is because Satan, or the devil the Bible speaks of, goes around tempting us to do so. You got to be aware of your enemy's appearances, his characteristics, his abilities. That's what we bringing out tonight. Let's get that in Matthew 13 and 38. Excuse me.
Matthew chapter 13 and verse 38. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that soweth them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels.
You see that? The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom. Those are the ones who going to enter the kingdom at the end. If you endure to the end by keeping God's commandments, you will be the children of God, the children of the kingdom. But the tares are the children of the wicked one. The ones who say to hell with keeping God's law. The ones that never knew God's laws. The other nations. But the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that sold them is the devil. So understand, he got children as well. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. The angels coming at the end to beam up or to reap the good fruit, the harvest of that field. That's what's going to happen when Christ cracked that sky. Let me read that again. The enemy have sold them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world. And meaning the end where they had World War III, that's the end of the world. And the reapers are the angels. coming to do what? To get the good fruit, the good seed, that good wheat and barley, the ones who kept the commandments, who endured to the end. So the devil has sons. He's a man. He's a spirit. He's an employee. He's a deceiver, a liar, identity theft. Matter of fact, let's go to Matthew 24 and 24.
Matthew 24.
24 and 24.
All right.
Matter of fact, start on 23.
All right. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
Keep going. Read the 24.
Verse 23. Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there believe it not. Verse 24. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, that they shall deceive the very elect.
So he's created to do what? Destroy, steal, and kill. Steal, kill, and destroy. That's his purpose. We already got his characteristics. We know who he is. He's an employee, a spirit, a man, a liar, a murderer. Lie, steal, and kill, and destroy. To the point where he even thought that he would be able to deceive the very elect, God's chosen people. There shall arise false Christ and false prophets that shall go with great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. This is Christ talking. Red letter, Christ talking. So we got to be mindful of what's going on at all times in order to make it out this hellhole, to get to the kingdom. You know, let's go to Daniel 7 and 18. Daniel chapter 7, verse 18. We almost done, people. I ain't going to keep holding you captive.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
Read that again.
But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
So even though Esau, or the devil that the Bible speaks of, try to deceive you with all kind of foolishness, saying that Christ is white, God is white, the angels is white, God loves everybody, and the rainbow is for gay pride. We don't have to keep the laws no more. Christ nailed that away. We can eat what we want to eat. Nah, he said he thought that he might deceive the very elect. But it said, but the saints of the Most High, meaning the ones who are chosen, the elect, Lord willing, that's us, the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. We're going to take this thing and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. So in order to be able to take the kingdom and possess it forever, you got to know who you're dealing with. The sooner we wake up and start keeping God's law, statutes, and commandments, the sooner Christ can come back and crack that sky and redeem his people and put us back in our land, back in the kingdom, so we can rule forever and ever. So it's our jobs as brothers and sisters that's in this truth or just coming into this truth to search out the scriptures, diligently do our work, study to show ourselves approved, discipline ourselves, and teach other brothers and sisters, because it ain't just our learning for ourselves. We got to learn and push it each individual. Damn, if I said that right, excuse me. Each and every one of us got to put in our brick. We got to put in work in order for this thing to work. This is commanded by the Lord. Go out there to the highways and byways and tell my people where they're going wrong. Don't suffer sin upon your brother. You see him going wrong, straighten them out. You know, let your people know who is in control, why they in control, what are their capabilities, who they are. Most importantly, letting your people know that they are the Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You are God's chosen people. So we got to push harder, got to push this truth. We got to continue to share video. We got to continue to study. We got to continue to question each other, build each other up on a daily basis in order to get that kingdom, to possess it forever and ever. You know, we can't keep making excuses. We can't be making provision for the flesh. We got to be disciplined to the end and understand who we dealing with. So anybody got anything they want to add, I'm going to go ahead and close it out with the favorite scripture, favorite closeout scripture in Corinthians.
If I get one real quick.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Right. This is talking about Esau, right?
All right.
Job chapter 18 and verse 16. Right. His root shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branch be cut off. Because in Obadiah it tells you, in Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 9, it tells you that the remnant of Esau, well, the mount of Esau, going to be cut off by slaughter, right? And it says, his remembrance shall perish from the earth, and he shall have no name in the street. He shall be driven from light into darkness, right? This is what the brother been bringing out all night. He's going to be driven from being that light, the angel of light, into being darkness, right? And chased out of the world. He shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwellings. Because it tell you that, like I said in Obadiah, that everyone is going to be cut off. It says the wise ones going to be cut off, the wicked ones going to be cut off, everyone, right? Because they like a cancer in the earth, and the Lord said he got to put them away, right? And that's thus said the Lord, right? He shall neither, they that come after him shall be astonished at his day, as they went before and were affrighted. Surely such as are the dwellings of the wicked, and this is the place of him that knoweth not God. We get one more. Job chapter 20 and verse 29. Right, this is talking about Esau. This is the portion of the wicked man from God, and the heritage appointed unto him by God. Right, so there's nothing you can do about Esau. You can't save him. You can't, pray for the Lord to save him. Hey, the Lord already wrote what he's gonna do.
That's
the Lord
right.
said, I am not a man that I should lie. So all these things, all these prophecies that's in the scriptures, they're gonna come to pass. And there's nothing you can do about it. You can't hold hands with them, right? You can't go to war for them. Even if they be nice to you, it's still gonna happen. The Lord is gonna make these things happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
They go to, you got anything you want to add, brother Eric?
I know, man. I'm just listening.
Go and get that Isaiah 14:2 then. Just to let them know what the end game is.
All right.
For that devil.
All right.
Because it got to be some type of consequence or some type of repercussion for the things that they have sown in the earth. They haven't been judged. They haven't paid for any crimes, any of that, for all the wickedness. In the natural world or in the spiritual world, they ain't paid for no crimes, nothing. But the Israelite man, woman, and child, we paying every day. So it's our job to continue to wake our people up, to keep pushing forward so we can get the hell out of here. But before we do so, or when we leave up out of here, it's going to be something that's going to happen. And that's what the brother about to bring out right now. You got it?
Yeah, you said Isaiah 14 and 22, you said?
14:2.
Oh, okay. I thought you said something. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
There you go. That's what's gonna happen in the end time. I thought it was the one what the other one that was talking about prepare slaughter. Yeah, verse 21, 14, 21.
Okay, that's what I thought you were talking about. 21. I mean Isaiah 14 and 21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquities of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the faces of the world with cities.
So what? What is that saying? For all your spiritual wickedness, Esau, all the things that you've been sowing in this earth, at the end, everything, you're gonna be cut off, man. You know, off with his head, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquities of their father. You can't keep getting off scot-free. Even though our people out there cheering you on, wanting to live your lifestyle, the hell with that. Your neck is off. It's over with, man. You got to go, man.
That's right.
Get you out of here, man. You know? We gonna hang you by some trees and bash your kids on some damn on the stone. We gonna get you the hell up out of here, man. Lord willing.
Let me get one more.
Go ahead.
This is Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 4. Right, and this is for all the Christian churches. You know, say the God love everybody. They say all the time God is good, and all the time. Man, I'm tired of hearing that, man, because that we don't find that in the Bible. Right, I've looked in the Bible front to back, Google some scriptures, and ask brothers questions. We don't find where the Lord say He is good all the time. Right, He is a very merciful God. He's a loving God, yes, but He also has a wrath. Right, but this is Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 4. The Lord hath made all things for Himself. He didn't make it for the Christian church to feel how they want to feel. He didn't make it for the world to just take the Bible, hold it in their hands, and give their own philosophies. He made this for Himself. The Lord hath made all things for Himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. So it's literally nothing you can do about what the Lord is going to do to the wicked in the day of evil, right? Got it.
If anybody else got anything they want to add, go ahead. You know, otherwise I'm gonna close it out with my favorite scripture in 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and 58. And it reads, therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as you know your labor is not in vain in the Lord. So understand you got to keep pushing harder, enduring to the end, and knowing that your work is not in vain. You're doing it for the Lord at all times. So understand, and I hope everybody was edified tonight. I'm the brother Ananias.
Brother Israel.
Brother Eric.
And we are A.O.I, the Awakening of Israel, you know. So we hope you all learn something and we say shalom.
Shalom.